Hi there and welcome to my channel once again, and this video is something that I haven't done before, and it's about collecting again, but it's not coins. So it won't be a surprise to you to know that as well as collecting coins as a young boy, I also collected stamps, and that's what we're going to look at today, is stamp collecting. And I'm going to show you my stamp album. Now, the stamps that we're going to look at are from Great Britain, because my stamp album just concentrated on this country, on the UK, United Kingdom, going back from Victoria right the way through to current times. In fact, well, when I say current times, I mean the 1960s, probably the late 1960s, when I kind of stopped stamp collecting. But I've probably mentioned to you before, when we talked about the coins, that many boys and girls at that time took up as a hobby collecting things. And as I've already showed you, coins were one thing. Stamps certainly was probably one of the top things that boys and girls collected. There are other things as well, and I can remember collecting for a very short time matchbox covers, or the covers on matchboxes, because they were quite varied as well. I also collected cards from tea. So inside tea packets were cards, pictures that you could collect and put in an album. There were also cigarette cards. So the collecting thing, or the collecting habit, was quite kind of varied, and it was well established really in society then as something that you might do as a pastime. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you, as I said, my stamp collection from when I started collecting to about the late 60s, I guess. And we'll look at the stamps, and maybe, I'm hoping that as we go through, you'll recognise some of the series of stamps. Okay, so let's have a look at this stamp collection. Okay, so here we are. I'm going to move this album around, I think, as we kind of look at some of these stamps. Great Britain, as I said. Now, some of these stamps, of course, I'm not that old. I wasn't around in Victoria's time, of course. So some of these stamps have come from within the family, and my father started collecting stamps when he was a boy. And then my brother took over, and then I took over from him. And so some of these stamps, the early ones that we see here, would have been from my father's time collecting. And so he had quite a number of these very early Victorian stamps. I think this one down here, is that on shot? No, it's not in shot, sorry about this. I'm going to have to move this around to there. That one there, I think that's a penny. This one here is a penny black, I think. So various denominations, various colours. And we'll just go through these pages. So this page here is, and I can probably zoom in a little bit for you, and so you can see the detail. And these are Edward the 7th. Again, a few stamps there, all different colours. These would have been used on the usual letter post at the time. I think the interest will come from when we get to Queen Elizabeth's reign. Let's jostle that around a bit again. So this is George V, again different colours. denoting different values for these stamps. Most of these, I think almost, well, all of them really have been used. I think my father would have steamed these off of envelopes. That's what kids did then. They would get an envelope, or their parents would get an envelope with a letter and a stamp obviously on, and they would then use the kettle to steam the stamps off and stick in their albums, and that's how that worked. That's why a lot of stamps seen are used. They've got the francs across the stamp. They've been used. This is a continuation, I think, from the last page. Some nice oblong shaped stamps coming in here. At this particular time, I think that stamps started to change shape as far as not being the traditional side of square that you see here. Edward the 8th. Edward the 8th? Edward the 8th. Very, very kind of different stamps to what we've just seen. You can see how the modern type influence is coming through here with the design. Half p, 1p, 1.5p, and down the bottom there's a 2.5p there. George VI, different colours, and we come to, although it says, you can't probably see that, but it says Elizabeth II there, but these aren't Elizabeth II. I'm not sure why this page has been marked up like that. Let's come out a bit so you can see the whole page. I think Elizabeth II's coming up next, and these are the stamps that I grew up with really as a child. These are very, very familiar stamps that would be bought from the post office. The half p, 1p, 1.5, 2. So at this point I think this is me collecting stamps at this point. 4p all the way through 5p, 6p, 7. I think I've probably got the whole collection here all the way through to 2 and 6, 2 shillings and sixpence, to 5 shillings here. Quite a large denomination stamp here. This would be on parcels and things like that. Again, all of these are franc, apart from that one. Apart from this one here, I think isn't, but again all of these have been taken off of letters and parcels. A continuation really of the ones previously. A couple more, 2 and 6, 5 shillings, and what was a fascination then were stamps that arrived stuck together. So these two stamps have been in the post, but they are actually stuck together. They've still got the perforation down. Now at this stage during Queen Elizabeth's reign, the stamps began to get a little bit more interesting. The post office started to realise that they could make money out of producing commemorative stamps, and we begin to see here this happening with different stamps coming out for different kind of commemorations. National Productivity Year. So I know this one and this one came out, and I collected these, I bought these, or I got my parents to buy these too. And that's the style really that we're going to see from now on, is that the stamps are coming out more frequently with different designs on. So I remember these. I certainly remember the campaign here to raise money for Africa, for the famine there. I remember these famine stamps coming out. I certainly remember these stamps here, National Nature Week, so with various animals on, and these here down here, Red Cross Centenary. So yes, these stamps started to come out much more frequently, and these ones here, you probably may remember these. These are the Royal Shakespeare stamps, Shakespeare Festival. And this one here, National Geographical Congress, I think that says. I think that's a picture of a power station now. I think that's kind of Windscale or somewhere like that, maybe. I'm hoping that that's in focus for you. Again, National Botanical Congress. So a set of stamps depicting flowers. This one was the Forth Road Bridge, and I remember this one, Winston Churchill, and another one down here, the anniversary of Parliament, the 700th anniversary of Parliament. Salvation Army, Lister, the device used in anaesthetics in surgery. So collecting became a little bit more expensive now for children, and you had to rely on things, or at least the post coming through with different stamps on. This is Battle of Britain commemoration, so different stamps here. This is quite a nice set. I really enjoyed this as a boy because, yeah, having planes and things on stamps, that was great. Battle of Britain. So another series of different types of stamp here. The interesting ones down the bottom here. This is the 1966 World Cup, and of course I made sure that when this came out I also got this one here, which is the same stamp as this one, but this one says England winners. So this was the prize stamp to get, the one that denoted that we actually won. This one doesn't. I think, well, obviously this one's much more valuable than this, but I would guess millions of these were produced anyway. Series of stamps with different birds from around the UK. The designs became much, well, very artistic in a way. You know, there was a lot of thought that went into these, and especially this page here. I think this is one of the first stamps to kind of use gold as the for Queen Elizabeth's head. So these were a series of stamps that depicted the Bayeux Tapestry. And another set of stamps depicting flowers. Now we get to the set of stamps that were used for ordinary use, so the half p, 1p, 2p, and these would be the ones that you'd buy at the post office for normal use, and colour coded for their denomination. So a nice set of stamps here depicting certain art paintings, certain artists. And I'll stamp there. So this set of stamps here was produced. Let me see if I can zoom in on these. So let's see if we can get those in. A nice set of stamps there depicting the Prince of Wales when Prince Charles became the Prince of Wales. Nice set of stamps there. A set of stamps for the Silver Jubilee, 1977. And an odd stamp up here for county cricket. Some nice stamps here again for David Livingstone, 1813 to 1873. Oh, these are various characters. So that's David Livingstone and that's Francis Drake there. And that's it. That's as far as the album goes. Okay, so that was just, well, a look at various stamps that I collected as a youngster way back, and some of those may have been familiar to you, some of them not. I don't, you know, when I looked through that initially and had a look, there was a lot of stamps there I had forgotten about, and it was quite a nice reminder of those very early on stamps that started to kind of come out by what was, well, is now the Royal Mail, but I think they were just still called the GPO then, back then in the 60s. Yeah, great. So I hope you enjoyed that. It was a little bit different this time, something to show you. I found that in the loft, that stamp album, and I thought, let's get that out and have a look at it. So that's it from me, and the next video, who knows what that will be. I have no idea, as we kind of plummet now into winter. Yeah, there's a lot of scope, I guess, for other things to be videoed. So I'll see you soon on the next video. So, you know, stay safe and bye for now. Bye.